Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke, and on this channel I do a lot of different kinds of videos. I do mainly ASMR videos and health-related videos. Videos related to my diet, which is a plant-based vegan diet, and my pregnancy. I am 34 and a half weeks pregnant, so I do a lot of videos about that as well. But considering my vegan background and how I kind of started this channel when I was super into the vegan diet and freely and eating 12 banana smoothies and stuff, I figured that now would be a good time to pop in and talk about Bonny Rebecca. And I'm going to try to keep it short. My videos tend to run long, but I'm just going to try to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. There are a few things that I wanted to say that I don't know if many other people will make a connection to or even notice. I don't know if they're right or wrong. I just want to say it. So, first of all, while I appreciate the fact that she was so clear that veganism did not cause her problems, that she had problems before she went vegan, and that she will never blame veganism for all of the issues that she faced in her health. While I appreciate that, she didn't say it explicitly, like, I do not blame veganism, until the very end of the almost 40-minute video, knowing full well, being a YouTuber, that most people will click off 35 minutes before that. You know what I mean? Even though she explicitly asked, please stay until the end of the video, nobody will, right? I mean, I did, and I'm sure some of her diehard fans will, but it's like, so many people will click off, or worse, they'll just see the title, why I'm no longer vegan anymore, and be like, oh, see, another one bites the dust, it doesn't work. And I think even as, like, vegans in the community, it's just like, every time we see a video like that, it's so frustrating, because we're just like, oh my God, again? Like, this makes it look so bad, right? And it turns people away from our cult, which is a big bummer. But yeah, so I do have an issue with that. I wish she would have said it more in the beginning, like, this is not veganism's fault. I have always had these issues, and I don't blame veganism. You know, if she would have said that in the beginning, that would have been great. But she didn't, and you know, whatever. It's a bummer, but that's like the one really big downside that I had to this whole video. The rest is relatively positive. What I liked about her story is actually the worst part of the whole thing, is that she and her partner Tim exhausted every single resource before turning to animal products, to the point of their own detriment, the detriment of their health. Financially, they spent so much money, I can't even imagine. She said we spent so much money, but like, I can't even imagine putting a number on how much they probably actually spent on all of these naturopaths, dietitians, doctors, and all of those opinions, all of that time. I can't imagine how expensive that must have been. And so many people who come out with these videos like, oh, I tried everything, and it turns out that the only thing I could do is just start eating a regular standard American diet again. And they say that they tried everything, but really, they didn't try anything. Like, they didn't even go to a doctor at even one time. They didn't go to a nutritionist. They didn't do anything. They were just like, oh yeah, we'll just try this because I'm miserable, you know? And I understand that too, the desperation of just like, that's it, I need to make a change, and then starting to eat animal products. But they really tried, which clearly means that they had so many ethics and morals that were just tied to this diet, the vegan diet, and it was so hard for them to break. And I really appreciate that, because I can't even guarantee that I would try all of those avenues, you know, before stopping my veganism. I can't guarantee that I would even be able to try all of those things, because I don't have unlimited finances. I don't have a lot of money. And I know that Bonny Rebecca, even though I'm sure she has, you know, a lot of money, I'm sure that she doesn't have unlimited funds either, right? She's not Shane Dawson. She's not Jeffree Star. Like, she doesn't have that kind of a following to where it's like she just makes tens of thousands of dollars every month at all. And so the fact that she and her boyfriend spent all of that money, all of that time, still being miserable just so they didn't have to include animal products, I really, really appreciate that, because you can't say the same for so many people and so many ex-vegans. So yeah, it's like most people make these kinds of videos and say, oh yeah, I tried, but really they just gave up faster, if that makes sense. I just have some notes right here that I wanted to say. This is the part that I don't think a lot of people will make the connection to. And again, I don't know if it's right or wrong. This is just like kind of an epiphany that I had while sitting on the toilet this morning after I woke up. And it was such a strong epiphany that I started writing all of this down in a Facebook message to myself so I could immediately come and film this video. So I got ready really fast and I filmed, because I think that so many people who started veganism following Freely and Durian Rider quit veganism years down the line because it's not what they were promised initially. What I mean by that, they were promised a lie, just eating copious amounts of fruit, 12 banana smoothies in the morning, unlimited amounts of fruit and vegetables all day long, and then at night they could eat a huge bowl of, you know, pasta with spaghetti sauce, and as long as it was low fat, like, you're good to go. And it's just topping off your day at 3,000 calories and however many it takes you to feel full and satiated, or as Durian Rider always said, eat until you spew. Like, they're promised all of these things, and that they can live this life of abundance and never ever feel hungry, and just eat all of these beautiful platters of mangoes. They can eat 12 mangoes for lunch, and the fact is that's not really sustainable for anybody, and it's just not. It affected so many people so negatively. They gained 50, 60, 70 pounds. They were miserable. They had acne. They just had so many health problems after following this diet that it's like, I mean, I started there too, right? I started being vegan, and then the first people I found were Freely and Durian Rider, because at the time that's just kind of all there was. And I feel like even people now, listen, I was talking to my mother-in-law, my boyfriend's mom, and she's not vegan at all. She has never followed a vegan diet or anything like that, but even she was just telling me the other day, she was like, yeah, I was just watching, what was that girl's name? She ate like 30 bananas a day and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my God, even you've seen Freely? Like, what the hell? She's everywhere. But yeah, and I've been there, and that's where I started too. So I can see how somebody who would start off veganism like that, being promised a life of like being a jungle princess with the fittest body, eating whatever you want, however much you want, as long as it was raw till 4, I can see how people would fail at that and be like, this whole thing isn't real, and give up right after that. But even worse, all of the health problems that come after living that unrealistic lifestyle, I can see how after getting off of raw till 4, one would try, okay, I'm just going to start introducing some more fat. I'm going to see if that helps. Okay, I'm going to try to start exercising more, up my fat a little bit more and my protein, and see if that helps. Okay, maybe I'm going to try a low-carb vegan diet, like just to fix all of the problems that other way of eating caused them, and then just ending up being so frustrated that they leave as in the cult of veganism, and they stop being vegan because they don't see another choice. And if that makes sense, I hope that I'm wording myself correctly. I have it all written down exactly the way I want to say it, but I'm not going to like read it to you guys. What I say is that, in fact, most people got so many awful health problems in response to the 30 bananas a day / raw till 4 diet being promoted, that after that they were forced to give it up. They were so broke or fat or depressed that they had to try multiple other vegan diets to try to fix all of those issues, which is basically what I just said. And who knows, maybe 30 bananas a day messes with your body so much that it takes years to repair that damage, depending on how long you were on the train. And I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the facts about that. I don't know if 30 bananas a day could be that detrimental to somebody's health. I don't know if raw till 4 could be that bad, and eating 5,000 calories a day, if it could mess with your body for that long. But the fact is, it's possible, right? It's possible. And I'm not a doctor, again, so I'm not going to say, oh, raw till 4 caused this, because I don't know. And maybe it's not even about raw till 4, and it's not about Freely, and it's not about toxic waste durian rider or anything like that. It's just a thought that's there, because I know that Bonny Rebecca used to follow their diet and used to think of them as mentors and stuff like that. And so maybe that initial introduction to veganism and the insane diet and lifestyle that she followed, maybe it's just screwed her up so much that that's why nothing works, because it'll take years to fix the metabolic damage that, could have been caused. I don't know. Like, speaking of how I'm not a doctor, apparently everybody in Bonny Rebecca's comments are doctors. They're not. At least most of them probably aren't. 99.8% of them, but they're diagnosing Bonny and her boyfriend Tim like they have examined her physically, like they've done all of these tests on her, like they went to medical school. And the fact of the matter is, they're not doctors in the field of body or medicine. They're just not. And I'm sure one of the experts that she overpaid to give her examinations to help figure out what's wrong, I'm sure that one of those doctors or naturopaths or whoever she saw would have come to the same conclusion as all of the doctors in the comments if that had been the right conclusion. But it's so sad, because that's what Bonny said at the end of her video. She was like, I just don't want people to think that I should have tried harder, that I could have done something differently, that I never really cared, because clearly she does care. And she's so sad in that video and nervous. You can tell. You can read her body language. You can see it in her eyes. When I was trying to find a sad screenshot of, Bonny talking for this thumbnail, the whole freaking video was sad. I could have gone to any second of that video and it would have been, so she's clearly upset by this, and this was something that was a very ethical dilemma for her, and she wouldn't do it if she didn't think that she had to, and your diagnosis of her and her boyfriend, I'm sure it's not accurate, because one of the people that she paid, who knows how many thousands of dollars, would have come to that conclusion, because they actually, went to school for it and have training, that kind of thing. Yeah. And lastly, I just want to thank Bonny and her boyfriend for trying as much and as long as they did, and truly exhausting out all other resources to figure out another way besides just reintroduce animal products to the diet. And like I said earlier, if I were in their shoes, I can't guarantee that I would do the same thing. And even if I had the money to be able to do that, I don't know if I would be willing to. It's like, I don't know if I would be willing to be like, okay, here's thousands of dollars to just try to figure out a way to not break my moral code. It's so hard. And so I really appreciate how much they tried and how long they went without giving up. And I can't guarantee that any of us, especially not myself, would continue to be miserable for that long without just being like, just give me a damn piece of chicken, And she did say that, sorry, I'm like a little sniffly, but she did say that all she's introduced is fish and eggs, and she has tried to introduce them from an ethical source that she feels comfortable with, and that she doesn't feel comfortable eating any other animal products because she just can't do it. And I hope that continues. I hope that it's not like some slippery slope and then pretty soon she's Nikocado avocado and, eating In-N-Out and stuff like that. But I hope that continues, and that she does just continue to add in what she needs to. And while I don't see how animal products eaten one meal per day, as she said, could have possibly been such a quick solution to their health problems, the fact of the matter is I'm not them. I'm not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist. I do have a certified health coaching, certificate, so I do have that, and I did go to school for it, but I'm not a nutritionist, not a registered dietitian. So I don't know how such a small amount of animal products could completely change she and Tim's life. Her and Tim's life? Geez, I have a bachelor's in English too, but apparently I don't remember anything. However, because I think she said in 5 days, Tim's whole symptom, like all of his symptoms just kind of stopped, and it was kind of mind-blowing to her. So I do respect their decision to incorporate those animal products in order to literally save their lives. I don't see how it's possible. I can't wrap my head around it, but the fact of the matter is it was possible. It was the solution for them. And she also said that she has been doing like a gluten-free diet as well, and eliminating certain other things. So who knows, maybe it's those things that are actually helping and not the fish, but you just never know. And I know from watching that video, from seeing the pain in her eyes, that she did do 100%. She tried as much as she possibly could before giving into that. And I don't think that she will go crazy and go full carnivore, as she said. I hope she doesn't. She said that she only eats them for 1 meal per day, won't eat anything except fish or eggs due to ethics, and that she continues to eat a mostly plant-based diet. So I hope that she continues to talk about this new diet and talk about her struggle, and still continues to say that veganism didn't cause it. I think that's so important, because clearly she had these issues beforehand, and the vegan diet, or not even necessarily the vegan diet, but the high fiber diet, was preventing her from getting better and perhaps making the problems worse. So I hope that she continues to share this, and also share a plant-based diet, even if it does include eggs or fish. Even if it includes eggs or fish for every meal, I hope that she continues to share it, because I would much rather have people follow that diet than the standard American diet, because clearly eating just eggs or fish a couple times a day or once a day is so much better for your body and for the planet and for the animals than eating all of the other things during your day. So it's also really brave, I think, that she did come out with this, because she did start as a vegan YouTuber, and that's what she is. It's kind of like Kalel, who I also did a video on. And she could lose potentially her entire following. But from what I saw from like the likes and dislikes and different comments, even though some of them were nasty and some of them were also just trying to diagnose her with things that she clearly doesn't have, she could have potentially lost her entire following, lost all credibility. People could have called her a liar. People who have been watching her for years could have been like, yeah, screw you, you never really cared. And so she said it anyway, though, and she spoke her truth, and she was terrified, and it was a 40-minute long video, but she did it, and I applaud her for that. I think that that's really brave. In this case, I hope that people try to understand and sympathize with she and her boyfriend, and put yourself in their shoes. I can't say it enough how I don't know how I would respond if my body were just falling apart and I was miserable and sick every day. I can't imagine. I can't. And I don't think any of us can either, because we have the luxury of being relatively healthy and not having potential autoimmune diseases and different things like that. So, yeah, you just got to ask yourself, would you have tried for so long? Would you have gone down so many different paths to find a solution, any solution? Would you have spent all of that money and time being miserable just so you wouldn't eat animal products? Or would you have just said, all right, I'm not feeling great. Every day sucks. I'm bloated all the time. I have acne. Let me try to eat some eggs. You know, I feel like most people would do that. And so I respect and appreciate that Bonny Rebecca and her boyfriend did not. So Thankfully, it's not something I have to worry about right now. Even being pregnant, I haven't had any problems with my diet or anything like that. I've been thriving and very healthy for the past 3 years. So it's not something that I have to worry about. And I pray and I hope and I really, really wish that I never have to, because that would really, really suck to be put in between a rock and a hard place. Like, all of your beliefs and your morals and your ethics versus your own health. But in the end, everybody's got to choose health, because I saw it in Bonny Rebecca's comments. Somebody said, veganism is an ism, it's an ideology, but health cannot be conceptualized. And it's so true. You've got to put your health first above everything else, because if you're not healthy, if you're not safe, if you're not in a good state of mind, you're not going to be able to help animals. You're not going to be able to help anyone, and nobody else is going to follow your example. You can be vegan all you want, but if you're, extremely unhealthy, if you're in and out of the hospital, if you're always bloated and constipated, nobody's going to be like, oh yeah, I want to try that too. So you've got to take care of yourself first, take care of number one, and then you can help everybody else. It's like they say when the masks come down in the plane, you've got to put on your own mask before helping somebody else. So I hope that all of their health problems continue to subside, continue to get so much better, and that she does continue to share this journey that she's on with her diet. And it is still plant-based, so I hope that she continues to eat a plant-based diet with the eggs and the fish and incorporating small amounts of those while still eating mostly plants. That would be, sorry, I just moved my chair. That would be very nice. But yeah. Anyway, I think that I've said all I have to say. This is still 21 minutes long. I'm very sorry, you guys, but I hope that you heard me out. I hope that I said everything in the way I wanted to say it, that I articulated myself properly, and that you enjoyed this video and maybe got kind of an idea. I don't know why I thought of Freely when I was on the toilet this morning, but I was just like, oh my gosh, this is her fault. And it's totally not. It's not her fault, but it's just an idea that maybe that diet, maybe that really strict, crazy vegan mindset really ended up screwing a lot of people over in the long run. It's just an idea. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.